We've got a very interesting topic this afternoon. 2016 was very strange in a number of ways, and the topic we've got this afternoon is the UK tomorrow. So obviously that's going to encompass not only technological changes, but the issues of Brexit and similar matters like that. So what we're going to look at now is really a discussion on what companies across the transport sector are doing or should be thinking about in relation to things like technology, legislation, procurement issues, all of those areas as we basically move into a more technological society. So I'm going to start with Nic, and his challenge is really to outline the government's thinking in what the future holds for us.
We are told quite frequently nowadays, I evangelise this myself, that we're possibly in the fourth industrial revolution. It possibly concerns digital and data. It's actually no good just knowing that or going around telling people that. The only thing that's kind of, you know, in a way worse than saying, oh, I leave all that to my techies over there, is to actually be really enthusiastic about it and want to own it, but not actually understand it. It is our duty to understand this, all of us. Now, I'm probably older than most people in the room. I will be 62 in a few days' time. And I've been with this for a long, long time. It's not an age-related thing. It's not about, you know, oh, it's the youth that will take this over. Somebody actually said that this morning, oh, yeah, I'll leave it to the next generation. No, we need to do this now. It's too important to not do it now. One thing that we need to recognize is that there are now innumerable new sources that can help us to plan and manage and operate transport networks and to traverse them. I mean, this happens to be TomTom, but there are plenty of organizations now using GPS data or mobile phone data as other sources of data to help us to know. Now, I have seen the commercial version of this picture, and you can now get down to in-lane resolution. This is the Marylebone Road. I've seen in-lane resolution, and I've seen that actually you can actually detect where there's an incident or a lane is closed or whatever. So instead of going back to sort of a variety of data sources that we've always done, just turning the handle, we need to actually recognize that the likes of Google really don't care where the data comes from. They will consume anything in order to get as full a picture as possible. And that's what we need to care about, getting as full a picture as possible. Part of that involves training. I mean, in Anne-Marie's case, I would say that the training that needs to happen is that our procurement people actually need to build, you know, data, open data into contracts, data awareness, data acquisition. If it's not built into the contract, then as a commercial organization, why should I care about it? Why should I include it? That is really important. And in order to do that, I think it's really important to treat data as infrastructure. And so I spent a little bit of time doing a fairly wonky, it's a really bad tool to use for it, but tried to draw a kind of a road as if it was data. So we start with the raw sources at the bottom. We need what are so-called application programming interfaces, APIs, but don't worry about what they are. All we need to know is that it's a method of talking to a black box. A human being is a black box. You don't know what's in my mind, but you have an interface with me. It's my mouth, my eyes, my nose, my hands, etc. That's how an API really works. It's a window into, a gateway into something that you don't need to know the functionality of internally. Then above that, you know, data needs to be cleansed because it's not much use to us. But if we release it, release it as open data. Actually, the community will help us to patch it. So that's really useful. Then it needs to be analyzed, visualized. Finally, it becomes knowledge and information, and we can actually take decisions on it. Now, in terms of how we work digitally and we work with data, I've got a sort of a laundry list of the kind of things that we should be doing in terms of changing our behavior. So firstly, and most importantly, I think increasing collaboration across our industry, forgetting our commercial and public sector boundaries and actually collaborating together. It's a much healthier and more fun way to work. And then reconfiguring our organizations to get more integrated services that are driven by user needs. That is one of the digital mantras. What is the user need? Driving the behavior of the organization according to meeting user needs. Releasing as much data as we can as open data, very important. adding a couple of techniques, agile delivery, because it's very good at getting rid of things that are the wrong thing to do and very good at homing in on the things that are the right thing to do. And also investing in digital research. That is very different to business analysis. Business analysis is about functionality that you're going to build to create something, whereas digital research is about trying to find out what the user need is. Freeing up time for innovation, putting more skin in the game. I mean, the example in my own organisation is Highways England with Area 7, working with Atkins to actually put some boots on the ground and actually own the problem with the contractors instead of sitting there in a centrally heated office, folding one's arms and expecting people to deliver according to a contract. If you actually get out there with suppliers, or suppliers invite their client into their operation, then you get a much more holistic picture of what's really going on and what the real problems are. And finally, improving literacy at all levels in data technology and digital. It's no good saying it's in the corner.